G'day mates, welcome back to Heartside for the Swedish Saviours. So this is the state of the world on the 15th of June 1943. The Great Russian Bear is pouring into Europe from the east, and the Allies, the pretty much triumphant Allies, are trying to hold it back. And looks like Warsaw has just fallen again, this time from the east. So I've spent a little bit of time plugging around in here. I've changed a couple of the icons so I can better distinguish them. We have our great Norwegian Hardcore. They are basically doing garrison duty at this point in time. A lot of damage been done here. You can see here quite a lot of stuff is, in fact all of it is completely destroyed. So we are in the process of gradually rebuilding that. So we have lost a lot of factories. At the moment, what am I doing? I'm in the process of rebuilding stuff, but I don't have very many of my own factories. I am trading quite a few, so we're getting 13 there. But a bit of a struggle here. What is going to be more important to me? I think it's actually going to be getting the civilian factories online. I think will be actually more important than anything else. Yeah, that's what we're going to do for now. We're going to work on civilian factories, at least, in the order we've currently got them. The other thing we are going to do is have a little jump in here and see if we can grab some more territory. We've taken a lot of land for Australia, and I don't think they're going to need, or they're going to be able to effectively use all of it. So jumping in here, gaining, what's that, 6 military factories and 3 civilian factories could be very handy. So let's have a quick chat to Australia and ask them to give us, I think it's Madrid, I forgot to check. Yeah, it looks like Madrid is the one to go for. So we would like Madrid. You know what, let's be kind of greedy here. Let's take, let's see if we can take them all. Let's see if Australia will give us those. In the meantime as well, I never picked these here because none of these were particularly useful. But we have started using artillery. So I'm going to grab Axel Rappy, I don't know how to pronounce that. But we're going to bring him on board and Svensk Tiger. Huh. You know what? I don't think I remember getting that. It must have been something that came. It may even have started. Either way, we are the Swedish Tiger. Libya Ethos, blah, 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 blah. Why we fight? Yeah, nothing spectacular there. I'm also considering going into changing export focus over to limited exports. I was having a look at that before. Now, it will mean that we're going to lose some of these 13 factories, but right now most of the stuff we produce we actually have a surplus of, except for chromium. Now we do need a lot of chromium. We're actually importing quite a lot of that, so we may be better off here cutting down, and so we're going to need that for our tanks. We're using it for our heavy tanks, so I think we are actually going to change over to, so we're going to up that as well. Not yet, we haven't quite run out of manpower just yet. Not going to go down to all adults, serve for a little bit longer if I can avoid it. But we are going to change over to limited exports. Now, we don't gain a huge bonus. Well, the factory output is a bit of a problem. I'd forgotten about that. I think we still do need the chromium. We can't just keep giving up all of our factories. Now, we have... Oh, that'll take a little time to kick over. So I'm going to start time moving. Australia refused. That's fine. They seem to be very pissed off at us now. We're at a minus 2,000, which is odd. I thought they were going to give us something before. Maybe I got greedy. That could well be the problem. Why are you not garrisoning Rostock? What is your problem with garrisoning Rostock? I don't need this many people here. Some of you go up to Rostock. Okay, looks like we'll get that sorted. How is that part of us? No, that's not ours at all. I think we're getting that under control. That'll allow us to Whoa, brilliant. The Australians have come on board. Excellent. This is brilliant. Let's have a quick look at the Australians here. How many do we have? That doesn't look like 20 of them. Not sure where they are. Either way, I'm going to make you into... Actually going to attach you to that guy there, so you guys can come along and garrison. I don't know where they are. Let's have a quick look at the Australian divisions while we're here. Some armoured divisions. They are looking pretty low on equipment for the most part. Light tanks. Shit. Absolutely shit. Okay, let's have a look at some of the infantry ones. They're pretty decent, good anti-tank. Yeah, but they're understaffed. They haven't got the equipment for it. So these Australian brigades are pretty average. They will work as a garrison for us. I'm not going to bother about this stuff down here. I think I'll ask them one more time if they will give us something. Maybe they'll just give us Madrid. I would settle for Madrid. They have accepted that. Brilliant. Okay, we'll get rid of this as well. Go destroyers. That's all we need now. Okay, so we've got Madrid. What are we getting out of Madrid? Some stuff for the time being. I'm also going to add this as a garrison area. Send some people down there. Hopefully... Anyone going down there? Not sure. Either way, we will figure that one out eventually. And let's just double check that we've got everybody in a theatre. Looks like everyone is sorted. Low manpower. Again, not a problem. So what we need to do is we need to get our people up here and prepared. At the moment, we are not going to be bothered fighting because we have too few people. We need to get everything fully equipped up to maximum power. That's going to require a shit ton of heavy tanks, as well as quite a few motorized and other assorted things such as artillery. You know what? I think extra resource gain efficiency will be very handy. What else are we researching? I forgot to check that before. A few million. We'll have to get night attack and a few other things like that. We are gradually working on nukes. Let's have a quick look at our air coverage. Not very good. And again, unless the Allies can get air coverage, I'm not going to be able to actually drop any nukes on anyone, even if I do end up producing them in the future. So, there's my cat in the background, probably breaking things, and no worry. What do we got here? June 94. We've already got the base night division. Those are not so handy just yet. I think military police is no good because they have the manpower to police them. Those are 45s, so they're still far off. I'm not going to bother with that. You are done. But you know what? I'm probably going to work on to getting modern tanks done. It's going to take us, 1.5 years, because we are 1.5 years ahead of time. But that means we will have it at the beginning of 1945, give or take. Probably a bit earlier, a bit before that. So I think jumping on that is not going to be a bad thing. Let me think. So what is that going to do? Let's just bring these up and have a quick check of the difference here. So heavy tank 3s, unmodified. We have a slightly modified one, but let's base it off the unmodified version. Our breakthrough will increase. Our soft attack will increase. Our max speed will nearly double, which is great. Our piercing will stay exactly the same. Production cost will drop. Brilliant. Reliability is the same. Armor is the same. Heart attack is ever so slightly lower. So modern tanks are not as good against other tanks. A minor concern, but I don't think that's too bad. Their hardness, however, is actually much higher. That's really good. And defense is slightly higher as well. Now their production cost is higher on chromium and steel. No, it's not. It's less on steel, more chromium, which is not that bad, although we do have a surplus of steel. Perhaps we can trade with Turkey or something. I don't know if they're at war with us or not. Either way, I think we're going to go on modern tanks. They are going to be a big help when we eventually get that far. What are we missing? Fire to close air support. I don't care. We're still short of chromium a little bit. And how is that affecting us? It is slowing our growth ever so slightly. Now, the fact that this one is at maximum growth means if I throw that one up, I'm still getting a small negative here, but this one should now be growing at top speed up towards the 100% efficiency. This way I actually eke out a tiny bit more efficiency based on the number of resources. And of course, if I can get more chromium at a later date, it'll be even better. Now hopefully we can get some garrison in there. Looks like there's a shit ton of Americans down there. I'm going to move our dudes up. They are coming up here. Let's have a look how many things we require. We're going to require another 700 tanks. The advanced artillery is going well. I can probably begin switching this over to... No, I'm not going to switch that over because... Brilliant, Vichy is down. We've got them. What I'm going to do now is actually switch you guys. Is there a way to... No, I think I have to select everyone. Doesn't matter. All of these guys, tank squadrons, you are now going to change over to the advanced tank squadron, which is brilliant. We don't need anything. We still do require a couple of heavy tanks, but there's no other difference. All that's changing is their reinforcement priority. Now these motorized, they were pretty much just getting our manpower put into vehicles just so we can do something with them. At the moment, they are not doing us very much. They're going to become reserve tanks. Now, we are going to require a shit ton more manpower, which we don't have. So that will require us going up to the next level, but I will leave that until later. I'll wait till our equipment gets closer. Infantry equipment is good. Motorized we're going to require more of, and a shit ton of heavy tanks also required. It's going to basically double our requirement. We do have enough support equipment though, and we're not gaining any artillery, it's fine. So we'll switch them over. That will deplete them, there we go, deplete them quite significantly, but it does make them a hell of a lot stronger. Advanced artillery, nice. And that's maxed out. What am I going to do now? I think that... I haven't actually got any anti-tank, so... that's maxed out as well. There's nothing really for me to research. A navy is of no use at all to me. At all, not even a tiny bit. So planes kind of could be useful if I ever manage to find a lot of stuff. May as well go rockets. I might be able to get jet planes sometime in the future. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. So this stuff here is going to need to be manufactured. I may even cut away depending on how long this actually ends up taking and how the war ends up going. If not, if there's a bit of a stalemate here, I think I'll be more than happy to just leave it be. Let's actually have a quick look at this war. Yeah, it looks like everyone is at war with the Soviet Union. They haven't taken too much damage. Although we have collectively lost a shit ton more than they have. I'm not sure why this is. Maybe when Germany capitulated, maybe they came in and caught a bunch of our divisions and cut them off. I know we lost a couple of dudes down here in Spain, but I'm not sure. No idea, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at resistance while we're here. Resistance appears to be... what is that capped at? It's capped at 55%, which is a lot. So we're not suppressing that very well at all. How about up here? Capped at 0, 0, 0. It's all looking like zeros up here. Again, that's good. Good, good, good. Okay, now who was the lowest one? You were at... I saw someone at negative 15, I think. Negative 4. Negative 2, negative 17. That's because there are a bunch of other dudes there. What I think I'm going to do, excuse me, is actually relocate a bunch of these guys down here. That'll help us to, yeah, there we go. We're damaging our stuff down here. I need to keep that stuff online so we can keep construction going. At the moment, we've got 15... No, we lost another one. So we are fighting a little bit to try and keep these things online. But they are repairing up by themselves. We've got all the repair techs done and covered, so we are gradually getting there. You're leveling up, that's fine. A couple more of these babies damaged. Got to try and keep things under control, but for the most part, I don't care about those anymore. For the most part, I think we are pretty much in a waiting game here. I'm going to let the Allies and the Soviets just batter at each other for a while, and ooh, it's nice. And I will come back. What am I going to do? May as well grab you. Probably the most useful thing. Let them batter at each other for a while, and I will cut back when something interesting happens. Just cut back quickly here. I've decided I'm going to have to play the long game. I've got the admin power, the political power to spare, so I've decided to throw in, as you can see here, Finland and China. I am throwing in just a little bit of boosting popularity. I don't expect it to have a huge effect on the game, but sometime in the far distant future, if I can't manage to crack the Soviet bear, being able to bring these guys on board will probably open up a variety of different things that might actually help us. I wonder if we can even boost these guys as well with democratic. If we can bring them on, even if that prompts them to get attacked by the Soviet Union, that will open up additional avenues for us to attack either through or attack with. So I wonder if even bringing Israel on board as well boosts democratic popularity. That's spending most of my political power. It's 4 of them. Is anyone else I want? Not really. I reckon those are the main ones I'm going to work on. If that does manage to flip anyone over, that'd be great. If not, then nothing really lost here, because I'm not actually doing anything with the political power anymore anyway. Alright, I've been thinking about things here. I've just finished researching Mechanised Equipment 2 just before. Time hasn't actually ticked forward yet. No template for them. Yeah, that's not a problem. I don't care about that stuff right now. So we've got mechanized equipment 2, and we will eventually have mechanized equipment 3. The fact that we've got sufficient numbers of the motorized Scandinavians here means that I'm still going to need them. But I think what I can actually do, since I'm not fighting, I'm going to cut them down to just 2, which sounds like an interesting thing to do. But, and there is method to this madness here, if I bring on another line of these babies, I'm going to need, what am I going to need for them? Where are they? Up here. I've got the rubber. Where am I using rubber on those guys? Not a major problem just yet. But if I send that up to the top as well, and probably cut down on the artillery. I'm going to bring the artillery down to just 2 as well for the time being. I'm still making a fair few per day, considering it's not a mainline artillery item. That'll allow me to basically start pumping out a shit ton of these guys. We're getting currently, what's that, nearly 5 per day, and that's only at 35% efficiency. When that gets up to 100, we'll be getting, what's that, 15 a day, give or take. So, and of course more if I can get more rubber, which I may well do once more of these factories come online. They're all filled, so they can be a lower priority for the time being. So that'll allow me to gradually, my point of this is to start moving over these guys here, move them away from motorized onto mechanized. Now the mechanized are a bit slower, but that will sync up quite nicely with our modern tanks when we eventually get to modern tanks, and even well with our heavy tanks now, because we're not worried about speed so much. So being able to move over like that will actually help us. It'll also free up all these motorized here, so I don't need quite so many being produced. There are a lot of motorized. There's 370 in each individual division. As we cut those back, that'll free them up to begin replacing these these support divisions over here. So something to think about as we move forward. Got ourselves a nuclear reactor. It's time to start researching the bomb. And there we go. Hungary has finally fallen to the Allies with that Winston Churchill's announced that we've taken them down. This basically means that the majority of the fight, apart from just a bit of a rump state down here in Italy, majority of the fight is here against the Great Soviet Bear. Let's have a quick look, while I'm on camera, let's have a quick look here at the factions map mode. Oh, look at Romania's there as well. The Axis is doing fairly well in North Africa, but I'm not particularly bothered with that. We've got a big Australian garrison over here just sitting around, preventing them from moving too much further. And there aren't really any resources here, so the battle for Africa means nothing, to be perfectly honest. We hold a little bit of stuff, but for the most part, Western, or almost all of Europe, is completely secured, apart from just a little bit over here. Let's have a quick look how things are ticking over on the... Yeah, we're approaching 22%, so we're just over a fifth of the way there. China's already in a faction. That's a small concern. There really is no point beefing them up, is there? Who knows? I really want to see what happens. I don't tend to play around with supporting other factions, so there may be a democratic coup, if such a thing is possible. But there may be some sort of democratic thing over here in China that will allow them to then join the Allies and come up with a shit ton of power to the underbelly of the Soviet Union, distract them on the eastern flank. As for the others, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's have a quick peek at Turkey. Turkey is, again, 22% of the way thereabouts. Finland is the main one that I'm actually hoping for here. They were originally going to be my entrance to the war, and I'm going to use them to plow in over here and push down towards Moscow, while the majority of their forces are concentrated over here. And there we go, Legionary Romania has finally capitulated, not through any work of my own. I've basically just allowed the Allies to pick away at that one. They have completely destroyed them. At the same time, improved infantry equipment level 3 has been completed. Now that's bumping up our motorized as well as our future mechanized. So let's have a quick peek at that one there. What are we going to get now? That one's a bit further. They're the best weapons we're going to get. You are actually, what are you, 10 months away. Might even be worthwhile going for this one. It's going to take us 1 year. But, what does it do? It does two things. Let's have a quick look at what it does. So it gives us just a flat upgrade to all soft and hard attack of all motorized, regardless of which level they are. So even the older ones will gain a bonus. On top of that, we can then produce the newer ones, which have better defense, slightly better breakthrough, better speed, considerably better piercing, and a slightly higher production cost, as well as, for higher, significantly higher resources actually. Maybe worthwhile staying back on these other ones. But I'm going to research them anyway, because we've got nothing else that we really need. You can see here I'm working on just a few other things as well. But have a quick look at this here while we're on camera. I've got tank squadrons. To replace one of them will require 1,450. There we go, 1,450 additional mechanized, but at the same time we're saving that number of motorized. So what that does, just one of those being replaced, gives us a tiny little bit of extra HP, not much at all. Weight and supply use go up marginally, it's not really a concern. Soft attack breaks the 300 mark, which is nice, but mostly symbolic. The hard attack goes up again a little bit, again not too much. Defense though, defense goes up nearly 10%, it goes up to 8% or something. That's just one of those dudes being replaced. That's massive. Imagine if all of them were done, I'd have a huge boost. Breakthrough as well goes up a fairly significant chunk, armor up slightly, piercing up slightly. And that's pretty much it. So the main thing is in the amount of damage these things can take. The actual attack power up very marginally. Speed as well will change when we get them all done. To a lot, actually no it won't, because we've still got heavy tanks slowing us down. But if I were to, let's actually replace these all over to mechanized. Let's have a quick look what that will actually do to us in the end. There we go. HP will be up a whopping 35, which is, I don't know what that is, 15% or thereabouts. Soft attack up a token amount. Hard attack up quite significantly actually, that's quite a bit there. Defense up massively. It's almost a 50% defense bonus on what it originally was. Breakthroughs up, what's that, nearly 15%. Armor goes up again marginally. Those two are not huge because I don't think we're going to be facing massive heavy tank divisions. Now it's going to take us 10,000 motorized, and that's not even counting the reserve tank divisions we have. So it may even be worthwhile changing changing these guys back to reserve tanks and leaving just this main one here. Actually, that's an interesting idea. If I change all of you guys back into reserve tanks, not much is going to change. We get a little bit of manpower. Actually, somehow we need more manpower. That's fine. So you're all going to change back into reserve tanks. Now, if I redo this, we've got fewer of these divisions. That's a bit of a pain in the ass. Change these all back again. There was a replace all button, but I suppose you don't do this very often. Mechanized inventory all the way back. There we go. They'll only take us 4,500. That is actually worthwhile to bring our main guys over. And I think that is what I'm going to do. So we still need to keep working on these mechanized, but gradually we are getting there. And that will give us a big boost to allow us to actually break through the Soviets when we eventually have enough produced. We've currently got 1.1k, and we're making, what are we making per day? 11.4. And that is only going to increase a little bit more up to about, as I said, 15, give or take. Alrighty, here we are. You can see on the bottom here, the Allies are struggling. They are gradually pushing the Russians back, but they are struggling. They're taking a lot of losses against the Great Soviet Bear. So I have gone ahead and changed over my 13 divisions here. Partially, they have received a significant boost to their defense, and we are in the process of just over 15 per day, rebuilding up our divisions. If I were to throw another one in, let's have a look there. That would take 650. So it's 650 per pop. So I can actually gradually move over and add in new ones every little bit. In the meantime, these guys are basically just preparing where they are. I'd probably even tell them to... no, training would be a stupid idea. I want to burn through my tanks. But these guys are gradually being rearmed with all the tanks they require. When that gets up to maximum, I think we will actually be able to move over and start bringing these guys in as well. The 24 of them are just going to wait down here. Next episode, we're going to head in and we're going to send... what are we going to do? We're going to try and apply some force somewhere. We've got 13 very heavily armoured divisions here. We are ready to plough into the Soviet Bear and help our allied comrades as much as possible. We're going to see how that goes next time. I've been Blxz. This has been Hearts of Iron 4, the Swedish Saviours. It's been a bit of a rebuilding episode. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.